Hi everyone, if you have tinnitus, you know how important it is to protect your ears from loud noises and manage sound sensitivity. Today I'm going to review how to properly use earplugs, especially if you have tinnitus or hyperacusis. Using earplugs the right way can help protect your ears without making your tinnitus worse. I've found that many individuals with tinnitus or hyperacusis feel that they now need to overprotect their ears from loud sounds or even at times all sounds. So they begin to use earplugs or even noise-canceling headphones when it's not even appropriate. The tricky thing is that many times when we block off external sounds to our ears, we start to hear our tinnitus or other biological sounds much more. This can start to cause more distress than the tinnitus or hyperacusis alone. So learning when and how to use earplugs if you have tinnitus or hyperacusis is really important. So let's get started. First, I want to start off by discussing what are some situations where utilizing earplugs would be important and would be appropriate. So if you're going to be going to a loud music venue, or you yourself are going to be playing music, even if it's classical music, it can still be at a level that's loud enough to cause some potential hearing damage. If you're going to go shoot guns or have some other kind of loud hobby, maybe you do woodworking or you're into construction, anything that has loud tools, loud sounds, potentially over 85 decibels can do harm to your auditory system. Meaning that if you're exposed to sounds that are typically 85 decibels or louder for an extended period of time, we are now putting at risk damage to our outer hair cells, which then in turn can cause hearing loss and may then result in issues of tinnitus or hyperacusis. I really want to stress that having loud noise exposure doesn't always result in tinnitus or hyperacusis, but it can result in hearing loss. So hearing loss and tinnitus and hyperacusis, they're all related. There's some form of relationship between them, but not everyone who has hearing loss has tinnitus or hyperacusis. So when you're using hearing protection or utilizing earplugs, the idea is that you're just trying to overall protect your hearing and reduce the risk of potentially having tinnitus or hyperacusis begin or worsen. So this type of graph I think is really helpful because it shows you how loud a sound can be and how long you can be exposed to that sound before you are potentially damaging your hearing. And you can see where some of the common sounds lie. So for example, a normal conversation might be around 60 decibels. Someone screaming would be maybe around like 85, 90 decibels. So we can tolerate some loud sounds, but they need to be in short duration before they can be harmful to our ears and hearing. So you really should only use earplugs in situations where you're going to be exposed to levels that are dangerously loud and for an extended period of time, or even if it's a short period of time. Like I said, you might be shooting a gun. Obviously that sound is very brief and quick, but it's at a loudness level that is much greater, and so therefore you can only tolerate a short amount of sound at that level before you are potentially damaging your hearing and auditory system. Some individuals will download sound level meter apps on their phone so that they can see exactly how loud a situation is and whether or not it actually is potentially damaging to their hearing. And then they can make a more educated decision as to whether or not using earplugs in that situation would be warranted. Now I want to talk about the different types of earplugs. There are foam, silicone, custom molded, and filtered earplugs. Not all earplugs are created equal, and some are better suited for people with tinnitus or hyperacusis more than others. So the most common type of earplugs are foam earplugs. These are the soft, disposable ones. Usually they're orange or yellow, and they can provide you a high level of noise reduction. They expand to fit your ear, but they can block out too much sound, which can make your tinnitus seem louder. These are useful if you want to drown out sounds from time to time, as in maybe you're sleeping next to a noisy partner, or you're going on an airplane ride and want to kind of block out some of that airline noise or the people chatting next to you. You can purchase these at most drugstores or even hardware stores, and they're very affordable. The next category of earplugs are silicone earplugs. These ones are reusable and they mold to the shape of your ear. They provide a moderate level of noise protection and are great for everyday use. You can purchase these also at most drugstores. Next we have custom molded earplugs. These are made specifically for your ear, offering the best fit and comfort, but they can be more expensive. A mold is taken of your ear, typically by an audiologist. A foam block gets inserted into your ear and may tickle or feel a little bit uncomfortable as it's going inside. And then your audiologist will use a syringe or a gun-like tool to insert a soft material that will fill your ear canal and part of the external ear as well. The material will sit in your ears for a few minutes until it hardens, at which point it is then removed, packaged up, and sent out to a lab who will make your custom ear molds. There are many different types of custom earplugs that you can order, including musician plugs that lower the overall volume or decibel level without distorting sounds. There are plugs made for hunters. There are also swim plugs for those that may have a perforation in their eardrum or are susceptible to frequent outer ear infections like swimmer's ears. And there are also ones that are solid, and those can provide a maximum reduction in background noise. The last category of earplugs are filtered earplugs. These are designed to reduce harmful noise levels while still allowing you to hear speech and ambient sounds. They're ideal for tinnitus sufferers because they don't completely block out sound, which can be aggravating when we have tinnitus, because if you can't hear as much of the sounds that are around you, you tend to hear more of your internal sounds, like your tinnitus. So these are quite similar to custom musician plugs in that they lower the overall volume level without compromising the fidelity of sounds from music or speech. They can also be really low profile so that an outsider wouldn't really notice that you're wearing them. And I think that's important if you're feeling uncomfortable going out into social situations and you don't really want to explain what you're going through. These would allow you to get out there, feel comfortable, and not have to answer any awkward questions if you're not ready. So now let's walk through some of the steps for inserting earplugs in your ears correctly. The first is to wash your hands and the earplugs because they will get dirty. There's wax. Everybody's ears produce wax, and obviously our hands pick up a lot of different things, germs, bacteria, from the things around us that we touch on an everyday basis. So we want to make sure that we're not causing any kind of infections in the ear because we're putting in something that's dirty. This is especially the case if you're using earplugs that are reusable. Step 2, if you're using foam earplugs, you need to actually roll them between your fingers into a tight little cylinder. And if you're using silicone or custom molded earplugs, just make sure that they're ready to be inserted as per the instructions. So when you want to put earplugs in your ears, you want to pull the top of your ear upward, and it helps to straighten out the ear canal. This makes it so much easier for you to be able to put the earplug in your ear. Everyone's ear canals have a curve or bend to them. They're somewhat S-shaped. So when we pull the ear, it'll straighten it out and make it an easier shot inside of your ear. Step 4, gently insert the earplug into your ear, but don't push too far. Foam plugs will expand to fill your ear canal, while the silicone or custom molded ones should fit really snugly in your ear without causing any discomfort. If you are using the foam plugs, you will hear some crunchy type sounds in your ears as they're starting to expand and fill your ear canal. Here are a few tips for using earplugs if you have tinnitus. First, don't overuse earplugs. Wearing earplugs all the time can make your ears much more sensitive to sounds and make your tinnitus even feel louder when you take them out. So you want to use them only in noisy environments or when necessary. The more you wear them, the more your auditory system will get used to the quiet and become much more sensitive to everyday sounds. When we have tinnitus or hyperacusis, we need to reset and retrain the auditory system to focus more on the external sounds around us and less to our internal sounds, and also to be able to better tolerate the wide range of sounds that we're exposed to on a regular basis. So exposure of sounds is necessary, and we don't want to block out sounds altogether. If you're dealing with anxiety or fear about worsening your tinnitus or hyperacusis or being around potentially loud sounds, I recommend working your way up to not using earplugs on an everyday basis. So using filtered earplugs and gradually weaning yourself off of them can be an effective way to improve tinnitus and or hyperacusis. Filtered earplugs tend to come with different strength filters, so you can start off using the largest strength, which helps to lower the sounds around you to maybe like 26 decibels. Then they have a medium level filter that's around usually 20 decibels. And then they have filters that are less than that, 17 decibels or even less. And so you can gradually work your way down from using the strongest filter to the lowest filter and eventually to not using an earplug altogether. I always recommend that my patients try to go into a situation without using hearing protection if they feel comfortable, but have the hearing protection available with them, like in their pocket or in their purse, just in case there are overly loud sounds that can be potentially harmful to your hearing, or if you start to feel anxious. In the worst case scenario, I tell them that, remember, you can always leave the situation. If you're not feeling comfortable, you're not feeling ready, or it is very loud, just leave. There's nothing wrong with that. Many times we tend to push ourselves to the limit because we feel that we have to, but when we are trying to recover from tinnitus or hyperacusis, it's important to push yourself a little outside of your comfort zone, but not over the edge. Filtered earplugs reduce harmful noise without isolating you completely, which helps prevent your tinnitus from becoming worse. It also can be a safety hazard if you are using earplugs that really block out all external sounds. It's really important to still be able to hear what's happening around you. For example, if you're going for a walk, you really want to be able to hear if someone is honking their car trying to warn you of something. If you have noise-canceling headphones or if you're wearing earplugs, you may not be able to hear these things that are about to happen and could potentially harm you. You also want to make sure that you give your ears a break. If you wear earplugs regularly, make sure to take some time off from them to avoid feeling constantly plugged up. It can also be uncomfortable to have something inside of your ears at all times, and in the long run, constant earplug use can sometimes make tinnitus symptoms worse. An audiologist can help you choose the right type of ear protection and give you advice on managing your tinnitus effectively. Like our team here at Treble Health, we work on selecting earplugs that are most appropriate for one's lifestyle, as well as working on what tools and techniques can help improve tinnitus and hyperacusis. And that's it. So using earplugs properly can help protect your ears and your hearing without potentially worsening your tinnitus or hyperacusis. Just remember to choose the right type of earplugs, insert them incorrectly, and avoid overusing them. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please reply below. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please hit the subscribe button. And if you're struggling with tinnitus or hyperacusis, consider scheduling a free consultation with a member of our team here at Treble Health.